This is the time of year where I find myself thankful I haven't sold my old Vstrom.
Well, here we are, Blue Marble Riders, getting on a BC ferry for a 10-day trip. A 10-day trip to where, you say? Oh, good question. We are at a place called Larry's Lookout. It looks tiny to you, but it's quite big. It's called Black Tusk, and when I was a kid, I hiked up to that trail with a friend of mine. I think I was late teens, early 20s, and I had a boat on my back. There's a glacial lake up there with the glacier that flows into it, and it was a pump-up boat. And I do remember pumping the boat up as rock hard and then putting it in this glacial lake and it shriveling like a sultana because it was so damn cold. I ended up fishing on a rock, literally one rock in the lake. I was standing balanced perfectly on it, fishing off that while my friend floated around in the sultana, or the raisin as we called it.
As some of you know, the Vstrom is my winter hack. But even that is impossible right now because after the nicest, driest, warmest January on record, February on Vancouver Island has decided to dump some snow on us. While not unusual, it is out of character for it to hang around for a week, let alone 2, which is what the forecast is saying. And I'm getting a taste of what other Canadian provinces and northern states riders must be feeling for most of the winter. Yeah, poor me, I can hear you right now. I can sense your sympathy percolating up like a ruptured septic tank at an all-inclusive. Now there's a picture. But I digress. I always like to be productive, try to turn a setback into an advantage, you know, like your mum always told you, turn lemons into lemonade. Or if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, but that's more to do with the comments section. Anyway, snowy weather like this is a great motivator for me to hatch plans for summer rides. My mind strays to roads and places I'd like to revisit. My finger strays to maps and new roads and places I'd like to ride and see. And there's nothing like a paper map to fire my urge to travel. This is Wanderlust, and it's common to most of us motorcycle riders. Again, as some of you know, I have a Husaberg, which gets me out into the bush where I will explore new trails and discover new routes to places just for the hell of it. Often it's not the destination, it's the journey. Sometimes it's both. A lot of more recent riders might think that this urge to find new routes or to see new places on 2 wheels hatched with the R1200 GS and 2 British fellows, but they'd be wrong. It has been going on for years. Just read Jupiter's Travels by Ted Simon. And well before Mr. Simon was Carl Stearns Clancy, the American who circumnavigated the Blue Marble way back in 1912 and 1913 on his Henderson 4. Wanderlust is in the tank of every motorcycle and the wrist of every rider, whether it be Sunday morning and an island blast up to find a new coffee stop, just for the fun of it, or to cross continents discovering new natural wonders and cultures. Wanderlust is the yin to the motorcycle's yang. Just ask Persig. And just like I know the very moment when my lifelong love for motorcycles hatched via my uncle's AJS 500, I know exactly when and where my own Wanderlust came from. When I was a young kid growing up in England, I had a book. No, wait, before you judge me, I had more than one book, but the most read book of them all was the Ladybird Flight 3, the U.S.A. And when I say read, I mean there was text, but being just 5 or 6 at the time, I mostly just looked at the color illustrations of famous American scenes. The Golden Gate Bridge, the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, Crater Lake, Yellowstone Park, and the like. No doubt, it's very dated in places these days, but it left an impression on me. I remember all the pictures, including the one of the red car driving through the giant redwood tree, Wawona, in Yosemite. It blew my mind. Allison is driven through a tunnel in a tree by her dad in a red car. That's a big tree, I remember thinking. I want to see it. Perhaps that and the incredible blue of the Crater Lake illustration are the two that truly galvanized my wanderlust. Some people collect trophies, hides, money, or stamps. Me, I like photography and imagery, and to me the natural wonders of the world are pearls, even more compelling and captivating than art. I guess by seeing them, I'm collecting them, and the motorcycle journey along the way is just the string that threads those pearls together. Motorcycles and wanderlust, they go together. You can't wanderlust in a car, a jet, or a train. It misses the point completely. It would filter out the smells, cushion the vibes, plasticize the tactility, tame the visceral excitement, and dull your senses. In a car, you might as well be strung out in a lazy boy watching the TV for all the tangible impression you will get. And that is why I'm glad I haven't sold the old girl. Looking back on this snowy day as I am right now at this footage from a couple of years ago that I didn't ever upload and I can't remember why, well, it's rekindled that excitement to wander. And that's why I'm sitting here on my lazy boy planning some motorcycle journeys with my wife next summer, with a grin on my chops, despite the snow outside. Mount Rainier, check. The Olympic Peninsula, check. Washington State Route 20, check. And this one, Duffy Lake to Pavilion, check. I'm remembering our trips to Crater Lake, Yosemite, Banff, Waterton Lakes, going to the Sun, the Golden Gate, Redwood City, but I still haven't ridden through a tree yet. It'll happen, but sadly, not the Wawona tree in Mariposa. She's now laying on her side as she fell down in a snowstorm in 1969, likely at the same time I first discovered her very existence as a child, reading that Ladybird book. What about you? Where did your wanderlust come from? Where is it you would like to ride through, to discover, revisit, or blaze a new trail to? Let me know in the comments below. For me, those natural wonders, they show strength, resilience, and wonder. They put me in my place. And there are a few people right now that could be well served by pausing, looking reverently up at Mount Rushmore, thoughtfully across the indigo of Crater Lake to Spirit Island, or reflectively down at the fallen Wawona tree, and remember just how wonderful but fragile this world is. It's a pity our politicians don't ride motorcycles. I've got a Vstrom that I would lend out, if it would help. No questions asked.